Tune into ESG Matters with Risk Insights, where we explore ESG with impact.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ESG Matters with Risk Insights. I'm your host, Anushka Bogdanov. On Friday, the United States imposed new tariffs on South Africa. While this may seem like just another headline in global trade policy, the implications run deep, affecting not just the economy, but our sovereignty, equity, and Africa's role in the global sustainability agenda. A 30% reciprocal tariff on South Africa's exports take effect on the 7th of August 2025, following an executive order signed by President Trump on the 31st of July 2025. This isn't simply a trade correction. It is a profound economic and supply chain disruption with serious consequences for jobs, industries, and our long-term development. So let me break it down. Jobs are at risk. The South African Reserve Bank estimates up to 100,000 job losses, especially in the agriculture, citrus farming, and automotive exports. And there's also export disruption. US consumers will face higher prices, but for South African exporters, the stakes are higher, from rising costs to outright market exclusion. Our exports in cars, citrus, wine, sugar, beef, and steel are highly dependent on duty-free access under AGOA. Access is now ultimately nullified. Along with sector-specific pain, the steel and engineering industry faces over $1.8 billion in export risk. Citrus growers, particularly in Citrusdal, warn that 35,000 jobs are under immediate threat. We are losing market share to countries like Indonesia, which have negotiated more favorable terms with the United States. In effect, this 30% tariff cancels out the very benefit of AGOA, which is designed to deliver benefits that supported nearly 300,000 jobs and helped South African exports grow significantly in the United States market. And this isn't just about us. Similar tariffs on Russia, India, Brazil, and others are stoking global volatility and recession fears. It is a pattern of politically driven trade policy, rather than one based on sound economics. The urgent call for South Africa and the rest of Africa more broadly is to diversify our markets, invest in resilience, and build self-reliant, sustainable ecosystems. This moment underscores the importance of having an independent ESG finance strategy, one not at the mercy of global superpower posturing. At Risk Insights, we have always stood on one unwavering principle: Africa must not be left behind. And let me be clear, despite the ongoing matter between myself and the JSE, it is business as usual. I continue our work with full energy, passion, and integrity. My commitment to Africa's sustainability journey remains firm. Tariffs that are imposed without fair consultation echo a darker playbook of the past. Trade tools have been weaponized. But let me say this: the era of Africa being held hostage is over. When prices rise, they do not discriminate by race, gender, or class. They hurt every household, every business, and every farm. Food security suffers. Energy access shrinks, investment flows pause. Africa needs innovation, not intimidation. I've spoken before about bullying. I will not accept it for myself, not for any African leader, and certainly not for any innovator pushing boundaries for the betterment of the continent. Since pioneering ESG GPS tool, I have worked with stock exchanges, boards, and regulators across Africa, contributed to ESG textbooks, and authored chapters on green finance. I have served and contributed to the B20 Just Energy Transition Task Force and the World Economic Forum's Board for New Champions. The ESG GPS platform has been internationally recognized as a fourth industrial revolution disruptor, built for Africa by Africans. While global financial institutions hesitated to invest in Africa's sustainability, citing short-term risk, I built the bridge with China and Saudi Arabia, unlocking carbon offset opportunities rooted in Africa. I also opened up access to Ivy League ESG education for African board members and C-suite executives at a fraction of the global cost. This is about leveling the playing field, not selling a narrative. These are real, structural solutions and not slogans. Africa's green transition must be practical and inclusive. We are not demanding an overnight end to fossil fuels. We are calling for a balanced energy mix that includes investments in carbon capture, renewable innovation, sustainable agriculture, and green technology. Our continent holds the critical minerals that fuel the global tech revolution. But we cannot allow our resources to leave without a carbon offset plan or a vision for inclusive local development. So for the first time, being African on the global stage carries undeniable influence. This is our moment. Let us not be distracted by noise, character attacks, or outdated paradigms. I will continue working through the JSE process transparently and responsibly, but I will not allow Africa's future to be compromised in the process. Next week, I'll be sharing key highlights from my doctoral research, which explores how social variables in ESG impact market capital in South Africa. We will also take a deeper look at why BEE, 30 years after its inception, has not delivered true economic transformation, and how social justice investing, if institutionalized correctly, can finally deepen our capital markets. Thank you for listening. Let's move forward with purpose, with pride, and together. This is ESG Matters with Risk Insights. I'm Anushka Bogdanov, and Africa, the world is watching us. Let's show them what we're made of, and let's not get distracted. Ciao for now.